Let's get into it. This week in astrology, May 3rd to May 10th rather. We're going to talk about some things today. Give you an update on the energies present over these next 5 or so days. There's not a lot going on, but it's some powerful transits that we must talk about. The first thing I wanted to talk about was Mercury going direct today. What people need to understand about retrogrades, just if me and you were going on a walk and we had a destination, but I forgot something at home and I had to turn around and get what I needed from home, that is not the end of the journey. If I say, okay, now we on our way, the retrograde is, once it turns direct, it still has 3 more weeks of retrograde activity based on understanding that we've been at this place before. We've come to this point. We've traveled this way before, so it's not a new terrain. So we should have some type of understanding. Thus, it makes us feel better, but we need to also understand that it's still retrograde and it's still a time of incorporating those things that we've learned on our backtrack. So really understanding what's happening during this particular retrograde is a conjunction to a planet that I don't like to say. I don't know how to properly pronounce it, but Uranus, Mercury conjuncts this planet 3 times. What's significant is that it does not do this on a normal basis. It usually conjuncts this planet once a year, but this year it's a direct focus on this concept of the higher mind and the lower mind and how it manifests in our daily interactions, and developing a radical mind, a different mind, and really changing with the times and really doing the necessary things one must do to change yourself for the better. An example, when Mercury was direct, it conjuncted the planet Uranus, and we might have wanted to start working out. Then it went retrograde and conjuncted again. Then we said, working out isn't enough. I need to do a diet. And so as it goes direct, through working out and dieting, we should incorporate everything that we have learned in this process. So it's really understanding your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and the higher mind. And we all source information from the higher mind. So thus, we have a choice of what energy we could tap into. So going forward, today we've also dealt with the sun sextiling Neptune, and this is an emotional time for us, and not emotional in a sad way, but just really utilizing our emotions in a powerful way, in a magical way, in a spiritual way, in an occult way. This is a very spiritual time. Thus, because the sun is in Taurus, and it's a very abundant and healthy sign for the sun to be in with no distractions, and sextile in Neptune and Pisces, there's a lot of energy available for us to use for the betterment of our psychic abilities and our intuition and things of that nature. So going back to this radical new mind, and the difference between people who thrive during a retrograde and those who succeed during the retrograde is those who welcome in the change. People who are closed off to change seem to have a hard time. It'll be like you want to call somebody, but the energy is not there for you to call that particular person, and you would become upset with it and be mad at the phone, when you should just understand that is a multitude of things we could be focused on. So we need to learn how to shift our energy into pockets that benefit us instead of trying to force our way into pockets that don't benefit us. So the Sun in Taurus, sextile in Neptune, is alerting us to that. Later on next week, the 9th, it trines Capricorn. So Neptune is a water sign. Capricorn is an earth sign. Capricorn is actually a goat, actually transcending layers and heights. It's an action sign. So Neptune is more of a retrospective, introspective thought, dreams, visions, psychic sign. Capricorn is putting that work in. So ultimately, we use this Neptune transit, empower us, and then this time next week, we in action mode. So however your life is playing out, however that resonates with you, you could use it. Another powerful transit that's happening later next week, the true node is changing signs now. The North Node and South Node. The North Node represents, in Vedic astrology, is called Rahu. It also represents the future, or what's to come. The South Node is represented by our past lives, peace, and our past understandings. So, with that being said, we are leaving, the North Node is leaving Virgo and is leaving Pisces. See, Virgo's earth foundation, our foundation, what are we setting for the future? Our foundation for the future. Now, as it goes into Leo, we have that passion, that energy. And the South Node is in Pisces, where it's trying to decide and discern and, tap into the psychic realm and really, get shit situated. Now it's going into Aquarius. Aquarius is all about knowing and self-assurance. So you put those two together, we get into our desires, and it's time to not really do what the masses is doing and really do it our own particular way. Now, the last time that the North Node was in Leo was 2000 to 2001, October 13th to 2001. So with that being said, we experienced 9/11. We had a George Bush. And so what we're dealing with now in this day and age is the new version of Trump and, North Korea and the things that's going on. And it's still, the Islam and all of this type of thing. And so what I'm trying to say is, we should have learned something from 2001 to now. We are much more conscious. We are much more aware. We should not be feeding into this beast. We should be learning things as we go through our cycles and really transcend this cycle and really elevate our minds and not align with this sick machine and sick game that they're playing. Because, it's going to happen. The setup is there, and they've been doing all of these tests and things of that nature, stuff on a small scale to see how much they can get people hyped up into a frenzy. So just imagine a large scale with Facebook Live and all this connectivity. We need to, as conscious people, take a step back and start dealing with our desires and not aligning with the masses and really tap into our knowing. If you know that what the news is promoting is real and good for you, then you need to be in that realm. But this is conscious and metaphysical. Less is more. It's not about having a following. It's about dealing with yourself and bettering yourself from the inside out. So, with that being said, just really to recap everything that I just said. Mercury's going direct. We need to tap into our radical new mind. Why do we have to tap into our radical new mind? Because we got the sun trining Neptune, emotions, psychic visions. So if we don't tap into our radical new mind, we are tapping into our old mind that don't get us the shit that we truly want. Thus, if we had a perfect life, we would not be seeking consciousness. See, the struggle, the pain, the hurt, it makes us search for something more, something greater. So with that said, to get to that something greater, something more, we have to change. And once we change, see, you're dealing with abundance and manifestation, and that's subconscious. So what we are manifesting should come from a good place. So we have to change. And once we get that situated and sorted out this time next week, it is going to trine Capricorn. The difference between a sextile and a trine. A sextile is the support. It's there, but I need to coax you into it. I gotta say, you got it, you can do it, you can do it. A trine is like, you look good when you don't gotta ask nobody if you look good. That's a trine. A sextile is you need somebody to boost you up. So the Neptune is a sextile, meaning you may have to be told this information because it's not apparent. But the trine, which makes it dangerous for people who don't prepare or have no knowledge, because what is action and force and you ambitious and achieving your dreams is the same way as people being cruel and rude and disrespectful, because that's their subconscious programming. They believed everything that they were taught as a child, and they never change, thus creating negative environments and negative circumstances by not changing. So Mercury conjuncting, kind of playing the violin over Uranus, is really saying change, 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 change. So it's a warning. Thus, some of us going to take heed, some of us not, and hopefully the ones watching these videos is taking heed and really making changes and dealing with this metaphysics and not, caught up in the media hype. Ashe. But now that I did this video, I'm going to put it onto the article. The article is typed, so it'll be more clear. I like to do these videos to kind of give a visual to the text, because, and I suggest that people get a reading, if not from me, someone you trust, someone that you can vibe with, someone that can interpret the stars and make it clear and understandable, because no matter what day, no matter how far we go in life, these stars is always going to be in the sky, and they're always going to need to be understood. So whether you know it or not, whether you care to know it or not, these stars is in the sky. Some of us decide to look up, some of us don't, So with that being said, I hope everybody has a good night, and I appreciate the support. Continue to support, because this is true consciousness. This ain't to get your money, it's just to spread the word. Like I say, I like to give people to know if they need to wear a raincoat or not, that weather. But peace, family. Have a good night.